Hi, this is Yaffi Lvova, registered dietitian nutritionist with Baby Bloom Nutrition, and welcome to Naptime Nutrition. Today, we're going to be talking about nutrition needs for the breastfeeding mom. Last week, I covered nutrition needs during pregnancy, and I always get a lot of questions about nutrition during breastfeeding. And first, I want to start with this disclaimer that the advice that I give on all Naptime Nutritions is meant for general consumption. It's for people who are otherwise healthy. Neurotypical kids and healthy individuals. I can definitely help in one-on-one or even possibly small group counseling with individuals or small groups who are experiencing particular health issues. But if you are experiencing specific health problems, then the advice that's given on Naptime Nutrition may not be appropriate for you. And Daniel is waking up, so we'll see. I'll give him a minute. Maybe he'll settle. He's fighting something. So I also want to start out by saying that I do small group and individual nutrition counseling for pregnancy through toddlerhood, and I'm doing something really exciting on Thursday. I'm going to be doing my first live lecture, like not an Naptime Nutrition, an actual lecture, and you can register for that. The topic is going to be Family Integrated Food Introduction, and that's going to be Thursday at 12:15 to 1:15 Mountain Time, which is 3:15 to 4:15 East Coast Time. And you can register for that. I'm going to put the link below right after the talk. And I gave my disclaimer. Okay, so the first 6 months of breastfeeding are different than any time after, because ideally at about 6 months you're going to be doing food introduction. And I'll get into that more on Thursday, so you should be there. Space is limited to 10 seats, so really if you want to go, then jump on that. So during the first 6 months, when the child is exclusively breastfed, and that might not apply to you, it's just that if you're doing some combination, then your nutrition needs are going to vary depending on what you're doing. Depending on how much formula or donated breast milk or whatever it is you're doing, it's going to change your needs. So it's best for me to focus on exclusive breastfeeding so that I can do really just a catch-all. Exclusive breastfeeding the first 6 months, it's anywhere between 500 and 640 calories per day on top of your baseline. And textbook baseline to figure it out is 25 calories per kilogram. And that I really hate talking about calories because I just don't think that it's really an accurate way of describing how much energy you need. It's very individual. It depends on your activity level, the climate, the amount of sleep you're getting, the amount of stress you're under, where are your calories coming from, what quality is your food. There are so many factors, and so that's just I'm giving you that with a bag of salt. Take it with a bag of salt, but not literally. So 500 to 640 calories per day for making breast milk to exclusively breastfeed an infant who is under 6 months. If you go under 1,500 to 1,800 calories per day, you are putting your milk at risk. Not only the volume of milk that you have, but the composition as well. I'm going to let you think about that for a minute while I go grab my baby. Okay, I'm back, and it looks like we have some more people joining us, so maybe that little break was good. So here we are, me and Daniel back. So, things that might increase your calorie needs right after you have a baby. If you have a lot of activity, if for some reason right after you have a baby you have a ton of time and energy to do CrossFit, for instance, your calorie needs go up. If you had a C-section, you're going to be recovering from that surgery, and that's going to increase your calorie needs, specifically your protein needs, while you recover from that. So it's important to know that. As far as fluids, people say different things about how much fluid you need while you're breastfeeding. And really, your body is going to be the best indicator for what kind of hydration you need. The research says 13 cups a day. Your body is going to increase its thirst signal in order to maintain the proper hydration, to maintain breastfeeding. So if you pay attention to your thirst signals and you follow them and you drink when you're thirsty, you're going to get enough hydration. The trick with that is that when you're a new mom, you're often really busy and distracted, and you might ignore your thirst signals. So that's a problem. When you start ignoring your thirst and hunger signals, it becomes a pattern, and those are no longer going to be as obvious to you, and it's very easy to become dehydrated and undernourished once you start ignoring those signals. So it's very important to pay attention. There was one mother I was working with who was using plastic water bottles and putting times on top of each of the bottles so that she knew when she should be drinking it, just so that she could be sure to get hydration. A good thing to do when you're nursing is to have snack stations in places that are visible with snacks and hydration in order to make sure that you're getting adequate nutrition from food and adequate hydration as well. And things that are going to affect your fluid needs are increased activity, climate. I'm in Arizona, for instance. We might need more fluids during the summer than someone in North Dakota, for example. Personal metabolism, it can vary from person to person as far as what kind of hydration you need. So you want to make sure to stay on top of your hydration when you're breastfeeding. So increased risks for not having good nutrition during breastfeeding. Diets. You just gained all that baby weight and you want to drop it? I'm sorry. You just gained all that baby weight and you want to drop it. Well, it took 9 months to put on. I'm not going to go there. People do some crazy things. And as I mentioned, if you go under 1,500 to 1,800 calories, depending on your personal metabolism, you're putting your milk at risk, you're putting your body at risk, you're putting your baby at risk. So now is the time. I think he's teething. I don't want to admit it. Now is the time to really love yourself and to love the baby that you brought into the world, and to try not to focus so much on losing that weight. And if you are really trying for pain reasons or other valid reasons to lose that weight, there are healthy ways to do it, but you want to make sure to not drop under that 1,500 to 1,800 calories per day. If you're underweight, to begin with, you could be at nutrition risk, and you might want to work with a professional, such as your doctor or myself, to make sure that you can maintain a healthy weight for you while breastfeeding. If you're a smoker, you actually, as a smoker, don't absorb certain nutrients as well as you should. And it's interesting how it affects your intestines and how it affects your absorption. Oh, honey. Okay, I'm going to latch him while I'm on here. Adolescents who have had babies. So if you have pregnant teenagers, for example, they're going to be at higher nutrition risk because they don't have a whole lot of life experience as far as multitasking and making sure that they're eating healthy while taking care of someone else. So they're at nutrition risk as well. Or if you have multiple pregnancies or close pregnancies, then you're at nutrition risk because your body could be depleted from nutrition from previous pregnancies. We're not going to latch onto my shirt here. This is like a comedy of errors. Okay, there you go. Oh, we're good. So your protein needs during breastfeeding, and this is in comparison not to pregnancy, but to your baseline. So before pregnancy, you had certain nutrition needs, and this is how they're increased while you are exclusively breastfeeding. Your protein needs between 0 and 6 months are your baseline protein needs plus 21 grams per day. And that totally freaked me out when I found out I was having twins. Last time, not this time. I went and got all these protein powders, and that's a whole other issue that I discussed last week. But 21 grams per day above your normal is 3 ounces of chicken or 1.3 cups of tofu. That's going to give you the good amount of protein, and that's on top of what you would normally have for your healthy diet. Are you okay? We're having a fight under here. Your fat needs. Your protein needs for 6 months plus, after your baby turns 6 months old, goes down to 14 grams per day, which is a 2-ounce steak or 3/4 cup of lentils. Your fat needs. It's interesting with fat needs because your fat needs for your milk really reflect your long-term diet, not any particular one day to the next. So you want to make sure that you have a good amount of healthy fats in your diet, such as avocado. And if you sign up for my newsletter, you're going to get in your inbox tomorrow a healthy avocado banana muffin, which we made at Toddler Test Kitchen at the Hallie Hart Children's Museum yesterday. It was a huge success. It has no refined or isolated sugars, and it's actually vegan and gluten-free, and that makes it sound like cardboard, all of that together, but they're really fantastic. They're really good. Anyway, avocado is a really healthy source of fat, and you can read more about that on my blog tomorrow when you get my newsletter. So a lot of women ask me, do I have enough fat in my milk? And this is a really big thing. I'm sure that you can relate. Us women, mothers, we blame ourselves for everything. If your kid has gas, it's your fault. If he's not gaining enough weight, then there's not enough fat in your milk. But it always comes back to something that you're doing wrong. And the truth is, that's not reality. It really isn't. And that's not to say that I don't believe that diet has an impact on breast milk. It's just to say that something really significant has to be happening in order for your breast milk composition to change. In order for your breast milk composition to be negatively affected, there really has to be something going on. So if you're asking me if your breast milk contains enough fat, 99% of the time, yes. If you have breast milk, if you are producing enough breast milk so that your child is gaining weight adequately and feeding, and you can talk to your doctor and your lactation consultant about the particulars, but yeah, your milk is fine. You're not doing the master cleanse, right? Your milk is fine. So you want to make sure that you're getting enough DHA and EPA in your diet. And the best sources of DHA and EPA are dairy and fish. I know that for me personally, I can't have dairy while nursing because my boys don't deal well with it. And a lot of people are like that. I have a lot of fish in my diet, and I take a really great fish oil supplement as well to make sure that I'm getting that DHA and EPA. That also has a major benefit with postpartum mood disorder. When you have any kind of mood, disorder, it's been proven that taking DHA is going to help even out your moods. So I really try to stay on top of that, which reminds me I should probably take my fish oil today. Iron. The interesting thing with iron is that your body actually changes its absorption. Are you okay? It changes its absorption in order to absorb more iron. Even so, a lot of women do suffer from anemia during pregnancy and breastfeeding. So technically you don't have an increased need for iron during pregnancy and breastfeeding. But when your period resumes, which is different for everybody during breastfeeding, you do need to increase your iron to about 18 milligrams per day total. And that's 8 ounces of oysters, or 2 3/4 cup lentils, or 2 3/4 cups cooked spinach. Obviously, other foods have iron as well. I'm just giving those as an example. Even though you don't have an increased need for iron during immediate breastfeeding, it's something that you really want to focus on, making sure that you do have your baseline, what you need. And if you start feeling run down, pale, your nails are pale, your right here in your eye is getting a little pale, you really want to talk to your doctor about the possibility that you could be low in iron and maybe have iron deficiency anemia. It's very common. Iodine, 200 micrograms per day. You get that in fish. You could also get that in table salt, but I don't really I don't really want to focus on the salt aspect because that's going to balance out your hydration. You don't really want to focus on salt as your source of iodine. Fish is really great for DHA as well as your iodine. So calcium, you need your vitamin D to absorb calcium. And I'm going to talk about vitamin D next, but you want about 1 gram per day of calcium. That's in 3 1/4 cup of milk or 42 avocados. So why did I say 42 avocados? This is really to drive home the point that you want to be sure where you get your nutrition information. I'm a registered dietitian. I have a degree in nutrition. I did an internship. I passed a national exam. The reason I bring this up is because there was a site that I found that said that avocados were a good source of calcium. They're not. 42 per day, that's a whole lot of guacamole. I mean, seriously. So you got to be sure where you get your information, that it's going to be somewhere where you can really trust that information. So that was not a good site to trust that information. 42 avocados. That's just insane. Yeah, Paula's laughing. I'm laughing, but I might be able to take down 42 avocados worth of guacamole. I don't know. That stuff's good. Vitamin D. Really, it's very personal. And in places that are unexpected, like Arizona, people have very low vitamin D levels. And that's because we stay inside. We keep covered up. We use sunblock. And you really want to go to your doctor to get that checked, to make sure that your vitamin D is sufficient. A lot of people are not. If you are deficient, you're going to take 1,000 to 2,000 IU per day. So an interesting study came out that said that babies can benefit from the vitamin D in their mother's milk if the mother has 6,400 IU of vitamin D per day. That's very easy to do with supplementation, but it may not be appropriate for the mother. And as I said, vitamin D affects your calcium absorption as well as other things. It's important to have adequate, you're just messing around. It's important to have adequate vitamin D also for your mood, because vitamin D has also been shown to help with evening out your moods. Okay, what are you doing? Okay, now we're just going to cuddle. Folate, and I did a naptime nutrition on folate and folic acid, and I'm also doing a talk on the difference and why it's important. I really like to advocate folate as opposed to folic acid, and folate is found naturally in foods. Folic acid is the synthetic form of folate, and a lot of people don't absorb that as well. Your folate needs increase by 25% over your pre-pregnancy needs. And folate, you can find that in seeds and nuts, avocado, and beets. Good excuse to have beets. And with this summer weather coming up, a nice cold borscht is in order. You may think I'm joking, but I really make a good one. So those are your increased needs for breastfeeding. And I focused on the first 6 months. I do have a special naptime nutrition you can find in my archived videos on my Facebook page, where I did a specific one on extended breastfeeding. It's a little bit more difficult to advise on nutrition needs for extended breastfeeding because although I am a big advocate of extended breastfeeding, however long you're comfortable, this one's having some gas, maybe you all heard that. It really depends on how much you're nursing, how much milk your toddler's taking, there are too many factors to really give out good, solid, across-the-board information on extended breastfeeding. It is beneficial to the mother and the baby, but as far as nutrition needs specifically, it can get a little complicated. So I'm going to leave you now. You can find me on Pinterest, pinterest.com/Yaffi, Y-A-F-F-I, Instagram, Baby Bloom NUTR, Facebook right here. Come to Toddler Test Kitchen if you're local. It's so much fun. We're just finalizing dates for 2 summer series where we're going to do weekly classes. And so that's on the months of June and July. We're going to do 4 Monday classes each and 2 Saturdays. So it's very exciting. Thursday, I have my talk on family integrated food introduction. So you should all sign up for that. I'm going to drop the link below right when I'm done here. And the registration is $25, and you get me for an hour, question and answer. Space is limited to 10 seats, and it's from the comfort of your own home. So come join me. Naptime Nutrition next week, 1 p.m. Arizona, 3 p.m. East Coast time. And, have you drawn the winner from the Moms Marketplace? Where can I buy those knives for my son, and how much are they? I was really hoping I'd win them. Oh, yeah, I did draw the winner. Sorry. You can buy those knives. Those are the Curious Chef knives, and you can buy them on Amazon. Unfortunately, I'm not an affiliate yet, but I will be. So you can buy those there. They're pretty inexpensive. So have fun with that. Post some pictures. And also sign up for my newsletter. And I'm just pointing right now. Hopefully that looks like the button where you can sign up for my newsletter, and I'm going to be sending that out tomorrow with that awesome recipe for the avocado banana muffins that I developed with Tandem Trouble. And they're delicious, I promise. So see you next week, and I don't have a topic picked out, so let me know what you think. Bye.